Hello students and welcome to Lesson 9, Day 3. We're going to be talking about how to play Amazing Grace. We're going to be using our left hand for chords and our right hand for melody. Let's dissect this one part at a time. So we're going to look at the right hand melody. Now, in the past, you started off with some songs that were just in one position, the C position or the G position. And then in Deck the Halls, you did the whole pick up the hand technique where you move your hand from one place to another. Also in Deck the Halls, you did the technique where you throw over fingers. These different techniques, keeping our hand in one place, or moving it, or picking up, or turning the fingers over the thumb, or putting the thumb under the fingers, all of these techniques are part of being a pianist and really developing a sure technique that's able to play any kind of song. And in this song, what we're going to use is what I call the stretching technique. Now when we're in this sort of position like here, and we're just playing like a song like Oh When the Saints, we don't have to stretch our hands out any at all. But in Amazing Grace, we're going to have to do that because the first note is C, the second note is F. And by the way, in this song, you should be able to go through and write in all the notes just looking on your past work because this song combines the C position and the G positions. All the notes are between here and here. Okay? So C is our first note, F is our second note, A is our third note. So I'm going to put 1 on C, 3 on F, and 5 on A. That's a logical thing to do. Now if I start off the song in regular old C position, I've got 1 on C and 4 on F, look what's going to happen. I'm going to have to stretch up to here all of a sudden, which can be done. Now if you're a professional pianist, you've been doing this for years and years, you can do an awkward stretch from time to time. But if you're just starting, you don't want to do a stretch between these two fingers. That's really going to cause you pain. So I recommend you start off the song like this, 1 on C, 3 on F, and 5 on A. It's going to be the easiest thing for you to do. It's going to feel the best. So let's go over the first part. Remember we have pickups, and the first note of the song has no chord. You'll see that when we put our hands together. But we start here. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Fairly easy if you keep your hands in this position. Notice how I didn't have to move my hands around a lot. I was very relaxed. I didn't have any awkward stretches or awkward movements. Let's do that part one more time, the first part. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Notice the part I just played on that second line. That sounds just like the beginning, doesn't it? Yeah, always look for patterns in your music. Okay, here we are on the second line. This is the hardest part. I'm going to start the beginning of the second line and show you the real hard part. Now notice what I did. I'll do it one more time. I realized that I had to go up to this high C. Of course, when I'm in this position, I can't get to this high C. So I've got to think strategically. So this is what I did. I put a 5 on A, put a 3 on this G, and guess what? That frees up my 5 finger to go way up here to the high C. Okay? And are there other ways you could do this? Sure. You could put a 2 on the G and go up to the high C. That'll work. You could do this. You could put a 1 on the G and go to the high C. Whatever is easiest for you. I personally think this method, 3 on the G and then 5 on the high C, is the easiest. But I'll leave that up to you. Okay, let's continue. We're on the last note of line 2, so the A. Now let me just show you that one more time. Notice I put a 2 finger on F. You may be wondering, why didn't I just stick a 1 finger on F? After all, 1 was right there. Here's why, because look what comes next. I'm going to have to go back down to middle C. And then we end the song like we began. So as you can see, the right hand to this song really uses a lot of creative stretching. There's no reason to turn the hands under or flip fingers over, but we've got to stretch in ways that are easy to us, for us. So I encourage you to explore different fingerings, different ways of doing it. It must feel good to you, however. That's going to be the main rule. Now let's talk about putting our hands together. And remember, I know that we're kind of new to fakebook playing, but at the very beginning, the first note is C. It does not have a chord symbol over it. So guess what? The first note, don't play a chord. There's our F chord. Don't forget the F chord keeps going. We're going to play it again even though there's no symbol. Remember that rule we talked about last week. The next chord. Now next chord, listen to this and look at this. We're on our F, B flat, D chord in the left hand, and we're playing that same D in the right hand. This is tricky at first because previously we've played songs where right hand's over here, left hand's over here. Now the hands are coming together. Okay? So it's very, very easy, and this is especially true if you have a real piano, not a keyboard, but you can do it on a keyboard as well. For one finger from one hand to be on a note, and another finger from the other hand to be on the same note. Let me show you the beginning again. Look, I'm sharing the middle C because I know I'm about to play the FAC chord. This is what I call sharing the C. I do this with little kids all the time. I tell them to share C position, meaning both thumbs are on middle C. It can be very easily done. Stay on F chord, then your C chord, F chord, then they're going to share the D, and then they're going to share the C. Now you may ask, is it possible to not play the right hand while you're playing the same notes in the left hand? Yeah, you can do that. Check this out. Isn't that neat? All I did was play the left hand chords and you still heard the melody. That's the beauty of fakebook playing, is that sometimes you can just play the chords and you're still going to have the melody there embedded. Okay? So it's up to you. You can just do the left hand chords on those last two notes that I played, or you can share. It all depends on how you learn. If you really learn the right hand and it's hard for you to take the right hand out for those two notes, then that's fine. You can play the right hand along with the left hand. There are going to be times in piano where you simply have to play both fingers on the same key, so you might as well get used to it. Now let's look at the second line. Here we are. Same as beginning. Just like the beginning, don't forget what I said about the stretch, and then now make absolutely certain you go to E, A, and C. What a lot of people will do this. They'll just stay on the same chord, and guess what? It sounds okay on the same chord. And from time to time in music, this is a little bit more advanced, but I'll share this with you. From time to time, composers or pianists will change the chords to a song. They'll take a beloved song like Amazing Grace. They'll put completely new chords to it. That's called reharmonizing the song. And if you want to experiment with some different chords in the harmony in the left hand, that's fine. Because remember, your left hand chords are harmonizing or backing up the melody. But for now, let's do it the way it's written. The A minor chord, then to F chord. Repeat the F chord. Now stretch down. Share the notes on the B flat chord. Now this measure right here has a few problems because you're going to repeat this D one more time. It's very easy. Simply let it go in the left hand and play it again in the right hand. Then you go back to this chord. Easy ending. Okay? I'll do the whole song one more time, then we'll talk about possible variations. Here's the whole song, both hands, really, really slow, but feel free to slow it down and pause it from time to time. Another good news about this piece is you can totally focus on the notes and the chords. I'm sure everybody has heard Amazing Grace several times. You don't have to think too much about the counting. Now for some variations, remember this is 3/4, so we've got the waltz chord if we want to do that. That's fine. Or if you think that sounds a little hokey, because this is more of a spiritual type song and not really a dancing waltz type song, I think the rolled chord is nice. Kind of has that nice guitar effect. And of course we can pedal too. We've talked about our pedal, and you're going to use the pedal on the right. If you have a keyboard, it's probably the only pedal you have. We can pedal once per measure. Look at how this sounds. I'll do waltz, roll chord, okay, so be practicing Amazing Grace, the right hand and the left hand. In the next version, we're going to do a little bit jazzier version of this. We're going to add on the C7 chord we talked about in our first day, and we're going to get to play some triplets. So I'll see you in the next lesson.